Oh, hey y'all. I got kicked off just now. But I am back on. We are here for a weekend edition of Creatives Exchange. Excited for our conversation. Let this load on in. Sorry about that, y'all. My Wi-Fi was off, so Alexa, off, please. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, we're back. I am about to bring on Dozy. He is the infamous Poetic Style, and let's just bring him on here so we could get this show on the road. We're talking about relationships today.
Bruh.
Why are you jocking my bunny swag, though?
You want to be like me so bad, bro.
Wow.
You know I only wear
We were in alignment today. Look at the colors and stuff.
You want to be like me so bad.
The wine glass. I have water, though.
I'm done. I don't even want wine no more. You got me.
Wow. On different coasts and in alignment. How are you?
Nah, you want to be like me. What's up, though? How you been?
I'm amazing. I've been doing my Creatives Exchange lives and just wanting to connect with different people whose journeys and things I feel like, inspires me in some way. And I feel like, I had to have you on here. I feel like I wanted to start talking about relationships. I'm like, who would be the perfect person to do that with? And I thought you would be great. So thank you for being here.
I appreciate you. Thank you for thinking about me.
I see this view in the back. Where are you in the world? For those who may not know.
I'm in Baltimore.
And can you tell people who you are? Maybe give yourself an introduction.
I am Dozy. I go by the name of Poetic Style.
I need to pin this here. That's my bad.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Like I was saying, I go by the name of Poetic Style. I am an author slash poet slash shit talker. Yeah, and I center around like relationships and hurt, pain, moving on, stuff like that.
So you have books out.
I do. What
are your books about? Are they all about the same thing, pretty much, or tell us about your books?
I pretty much focus on that space that a lot of people are in between the breakup, the letting go, and the moving on. Most of my books do kind of focus around that. I also focus on just self-worth, being unapologetic about having standards, having criteria. Yeah, stuff like that.
So are these books pretty much inspired by your personal experiences, or is it of people whose relationships you've witnessed, or what?
Yeah,
where does your inspiration come from?
My personal experiences. The experiences of others, just life. A lot of times these things just kind of come to me. I don't. It'll be hard for me to explain any more than Michael Jordan could explain why he can shoot a basketball so well. I think it's just my gift, you know.
Yeah. Where does your inspiration come from? What inspires you to write what you write?
I've always liked playing with words, but I would say my inspiration comes from growing up on R&B. I mean, like real R&B. I know every generation says this, but I mean like real R&B before, like, you know, we got this watered down version that we have now where people are actually talking about heartbreak or trying to get their girl back or just
I miss that. I miss that type of music too.
Yeah. I miss that too. I miss that type of R&B. You know, ripping white beaters in the rain type of R&B. So
if I had one wish.
Yeah. So yeah, I think growing up on that inspired a lot of the topics that I write about, for sure.
Okay. So let's get into like you talk about relationships, the breakup, the get together, the stage where you're like, you got your eye on somebody. Do you believe that in relationships, men and women have specific roles to play, or I mean, in relationships specifically, do you think that they should have
I think
specific roles, or should it be?
I think in the world, men and women have specific roles to play. I think there are some things that women can do way better than men, and I think there are some things that men can just do easier than women because of our build and our build and our purpose in this world. Now, having said that, I feel like relationships are not all the same. I feel like people should find what works within their relationship, right? For instance, there's this infamous quote that goes around Instagram all the time regarding bill splitting. Like, should the man pay all the
Oh,
bills,
yes,
or
yes.
50-50 or 80-20? And I'm always like, how about y'all just do what works for the relationship? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
find what works for y'all and what can get y'all to where y'all trying to go as a unit, because that's what y'all are. Y'all are partners. And do it that way. Don't go by what one person said on Instagram, because that might be what
There's a
works for their relationship.
perception. There's a perception, just in society that we live in now. Basically, men should be the ones paying all the time. Um, all the time. I agree to that to a certain extent, but
Conveniently. And you know
but
what I've noticed?
let me explain. If
Go
you're
ahead.
courting, obviously, if you're courting a woman, if
For
you're
sure.
trying
For
to
sure.
court me, why do I need to split the bill?
For sure. Now,
Um,
I'm with you on that.
but if we're in a relationship, then I don't mind. I don't mind doing that. I think that works. It works best for sometimes sometimes I might want to.
Focus on as a unit, because that's what y'all are. Y'all are partners. And do it that way. Don't go by what one person said on Instagram, because that might be what
There's a
works for their relationship.
perception. There's a perception, just in society that we live in now. Basically, men should be the ones paying all the time. Um, all the time. I agree to that to a certain extent, but
Conveniently. And you know
but
what I've noticed?
let me explain. If
Go
you're
ahead.
courting, obviously, if you're courting a woman, if
For
you're
sure.
trying
For
to
sure.
court me, why do I need to split the bill?
For sure. Now, I'm with you on that.
But if we're in a relationship, then I don't mind. I don't mind doing that. I think that works. It works best for sometimes I might want to pick it up.
No, for sure. No,
It
I'm
shouldn't be
with you
like
on that.
pressure.
I feel like when you're courting a woman, then you should be doing just that, courting her. I don't feel like, you're not in a place where you should ever have to like ask a woman to split a bill with you when you're courting her. But that's just my take on that.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been on a date or two where at the end
yeah,
it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, so how you want to do this?
Yeah, I wouldn't take no girl out when I feel like I can't pick up the bill. I'd stay my
That's
ass in the house.
crazy to me.
Yeah, stay ass in the house. Dating is extracurricular activity. You can't you
And do you
can't
feel
mess
like
with it.
dating is can do you feel like dating is expensive?
For men, absolutely. I feel like dating can definitely be expensive for men. For instance, like, okay, so let's go by the the bar that you just set. Like, the man has to pick up all the bills, right? Now, if you're a man and you're single and you're dating, like you're dating women, multiple women, like you're trying to find out what you want, so, or what you like. So maybe in a week span, you might go on 3 dates, right?
Hmm.
I don't know what people are paying for dinner these days, depending on the restaurant you go to.
But you
You
got to
might
be
spend.
creative too.
Okay, well, there's that. But stay with me. You might spend north of $300-$400 on those 3 dates, and I feel like that's kind of on the low end. Again, depending on where you go. For the woman, it's free. All she got to do is show up, look nice,
But she
great
has to look
conversation.
good, and you don't know what goes into that either.
Men have to look good too. Why do people act like women are the only ones who have to present themselves? We
No,
have to
that
groom, just like, I'm not saying that it's the same, right? But we have to groom just like women have things that they have to do, right? We have
right.
to get haircuts, make sure we smell good. So we can't factor that in, because we all got to do things to present ourselves properly for a date. But the date itself, it's free for the woman. For the man, he's gonna spend north of whatever, depending on how many dates he wants to go on that week. So yes, that dating is definitely, it can definitely get expensive, I believe. So yeah.
I think the point I was just making was that when getting ready to go out on a date, yes, the men have to pay for the bill at dinner or whatever they decide to do, or should.
Right.
They don't have to do anything, they should. But the woman getting ready for the date is expensive. She may want to get her hair done, her nails done.
I might want to get my hair done.
No, it's not the same. It's not the
No,
same.
if you're trying to listen, you're trying to hit
I mean,
your mirrors. We're not doing that. Your maintenance is not a part of the date.
Our maintenance bill is way more than y'all maintenance bill.
But listen, we're not disputing maintenance bills right now. We're talking about dating. What you're talking about are things that you're gonna do regardless of if you have it. You're gonna keep yourself up as a woman.
True. That's true.
Right. So that has nothing to do with the date that we're going on.
That's true.
Dudes are gonna get haircuts every week or bi-weekly, whether or not they got a date. You're gonna get your hair done, your nails done, regardless of if you got a date. So that I feel like that has no bearing on the cost of a date, men versus women.
How many dates do you think should happen before it goes to another level? Does that also depend on the person, or?
Everything depends on the person. However, I feel like I would say a lot. I just feel like people don't date. Like
they don't take their time, right?
What they do is they find somebody that they like, and then they lock in. They just force something to happen. Like, this is the person I like. So like after like 1 or 2 dates, it's like they just 0 to 100. They just force everything. It's like, figure it out. Date this person, because they're gonna give you the best part, the best side of them, the best presentation that they can the first couple months even. You know what I mean? I feel like people should learn to want to see people in so many different situations before they decide to commit. You got to know how this person is going to react in all these different scenarios. Like, you have to know this person before you decide to commit. And I feel like people just see someone they like and they be all in.
And they want that popcorn love.
I feel like relationship goals is rushing everyone. Like, people see pics on Instagram and they want to be that cute couple, right? Yeah. And so it's just rushing. Everyone is rushing because they want to be the next relationship goals.
Yeah, that's true. Well, do you believe in love at first sight? Because
I believe in infatuation at first sight.
Infatuation at first sight.
Yeah, I feel like you can see a girl and just be like infatuated with how she looks or the idea that you have of her. But how can you love someone you know nothing about them? I don't know anything about you. How can I love you at first sight? You understand what I'm saying? Like, you could be the fucking devil inside, but you're wrapped in great wrapping paper, and I love you. Like, I love the idea of you, the idea that I've created of who you might be based on what you presented to me. But no, so I guess to answer your question, I don't believe in love at first sight. I believe in infatuation, like, as far as on a surface level.
Just infatuated with like the physical, basically, what you see, or the time that y'all having together.
Yeah, and the idea of them, like, for instance, even like in recent year, like in 2020, right? Say you meet somebody on Instagram, or you meet somebody, period. A lot of times, one of the first things we ask is, what's your Instagram, what's your social media, right? So we can go on their page, we can look at all their pictures and photos, and then come up with this idea of who they are.
Who they are.
Right? And I think then we fall in love or in strong like with that, and then now they have to live up to that. You understand what I'm saying? So I feel like that's kind of the same thing as love at first sight. We just create an idea of who we want this person to be based on what we've seen, and in today's age, it's usually based on their Instagram and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think I would say I believe in love at first sight.
Are you in a relationship?
I'm not. I'm dating.
Dating.
You wanna go out? I'm joking. I couldn't help myself. It was right
do you how do you feel about multi-dating? I saw someone comment here. She's like, forget that, I'm multi-dating. Like, how many women can you have in rotation at once, dating, courting?
Dating and courting, I feel like, are two different things. How many
Well,
women can you date
how would
at
you describe
once?
dating then, just so we're on the same page?
Okay, I would say dating, I feel like there's levels, right? I would say
Right.
dating is what you do when you're just trying to figure out if you even want to, like if I take you out on a date, right? That's a date. If I take another woman out, that's a date. Like I'm dating around. I'm saying
So
what I
you're
like.
just taking women out. Got it.
I'm getting to know
Yeah,
people. I'm
you're getting to
dating,
know
right?
people.
Yeah, I feel like courting is when you lock in, like, okay, this is the person I potentially want to take to the next level. So now I'm courting her. Courting is basically you're dating a particular person with a purpose, like usually marriage, right? So courting is like the next step, right? So to answer your question, how many, like, what was the question? How many people do I think is healthy
Well,
to date?
multi-dating. So like, is it a rotate? If you're taking these women out, is it just one and done, or are you constantly taking these same
I
couple of
mean,
women out, trying to
it's
see
one and
what?
done. It's one and done if there wasn't a spark, if there was no chemistry, you know what I mean? Then it's then what we gotta go out again for. Like if I didn't feel anything, if I don't feel the need for a second date, and it's usually mutual, well sometimes it's not. But if you don't feel the need for a second date, then it's one and done. But I believe in multi dating until you mutually start building something with someone. But I feel like okay, so there's a term for what I'm thinking about. I can't quite think of it right now, and I feel
Let me
like
help you.
men have been doing it for the longest time, right? And this is what we do. No matter how far we get with a woman, the moment we realize she's not the one that we want to spend the rest of our lives with, we move on to the next one. Women have a hard time doing it because society has put in place this whole body count thing. So it's like if I had sex with a guy, I have to try to hold on to him longer than I know I should because it's like I don't want to move on to the next guy. So you
Right.
end up holding on to somebody who's toxic
And
because
who
you're
you
trying to
know
keep your
is not
body
the
count
one.
down. Right. And what that does is it just prolongs you meeting your Mr. Right. So while guys have gone through however many women that they have to go through to get to their Mrs. Right, women are told to hold on to toxic nigga number two because you got to keep your body count down, right? And I feel like that's unfair. So basically, I say that to say this: multi-dating, I feel like, can get you to your Mr. or Mrs. Right faster. Because what you don't want to do is spend like not unless you're dating for shits and giggles,
Right.
which a lot
But
of
if
people
you're
are.
dating with purpose,
Yeah. Then keep it moving. Like you're not the one. I get him the fuck out of there. Get her the fuck out of there. You know what I mean? Get to your person. The
don't
fastest way
waste
to your
time.
person is
Don't
a
waste
straight
time.
line. Like don't waste time. So I feel like multi-dating is healthy. It'll get you where you're trying to go, especially if you know where you're trying to go. If you don't know where
Yeah.
you're trying to go, then you just, you're running in a treadmill. You're going nowhere.
So dating now in 2020 versus, let's say, a decade ago, how do you feel like, well, it's changed in a lot of ways, but I want to know your opinion. Like, how do you feel like it's changed? And do you feel like it's getting easier or harder to date
I feel
now
like
in
I feel
2020?
like it's getting harder, um, for a couple reasons. But the first one, first thing that comes to mind is social media. And the reason for that is I feel like people think everyone is so accessible now and available that they don't focus on the good things that are right in front of them. Because all they have to do is open an app and they see all these beautiful women or handsome men, and it's like, oh, if you're not acting right, this person liked my photo, I can go fuck with
Slide
them.
in the DM.
You know what I mean? Yeah, sliding, like everyone seems so accessible, and so people just don't know how to focus on what's right in front of them. You know what I mean? So I think that's part of the big thing. Social media also makes the world seem smaller, especially cities. Like living in Baltimore, it seems like everyone knows everyone. You know what I mean? So that also can make it harder on dating because it's like it just can make it harder on dating.
What are some things that you encounter on dating that you're just like, bruh, like what's going on with the women today? I just can't. Like,
Well, first of all,
talk
I
about
think
a few of your dating experiences.
okay, so first of all, I think depending on what you're looking for in a partner, and depending on your dating pool, like your where you are, like your environment, like the people you have to choose from, right? I feel like you can encounter a lot of obstacles. For me, dating in Baltimore, I find that the kind of people that I want to connect with come few and far between. Um, that and then it's just I feel like it's just a lot. Like
Somebody said, "Brother, don't hold back, please. Look, they need to know
no.
what's
Listen,
going on."
I got love for my city, right? There's a lot of beautiful women in Baltimore, a lot of beautiful women in Baltimore, but I'm not like the regular Baltimorean, right? I don't dress like the regular Baltimorean. I don't talk like the regular Baltimorean. So when I'm trying to date women who are used to a certain thing, you know what I mean? Then it's like we have nothing in common. You understand what I'm saying? And one thing that I want to make clear is I've dated great women. I've dated great women from Baltimore, like, but somebody can be great and not be your person. Um, so I've dated some great women, but they just weren't my person. I feel like finding your person might require you to just move out of your comfort zone. A lot of
Might be what?
times, might require you to move out of your comfort zone.
Out of your comfort zone. Oh, 1000%.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't feel like my person is in LA.
probably not.
Dating nowadays is just, I mean, for women, for me personally.
And I will say this: that's where social media can help. Like, 'cause social media is the gift and the curse. Like, it can
Or putting
hurt
yourself out there and
relationships.
going out. Because I'm
Yeah,
the type of
sure.
person, I can go to a bar by myself. I'll go out to eat by
And
myself.
I'm learning that. I'm learning to do that by myself. And
Yeah, and
I
then
think
you
that
talk to
helps
people while you're out, and
for
you don't.
sure.
Somebody could be in town, So I like my own company, but so that's why I'm able to put myself out there and do those things. And you never know who you're gonna meet. So dating internationally, yes, or that too.
All that too.
Everywhere, wherever they coming from. Listen, have you ever gone through a tough breakup?
Have I ever gone through a tough breakup?
Yeah, and someone here said, "How do you get over that? How do you get over a tough breakup?"
All right. So here's the thing, right? My
Tell us.
breakups, my breakups might have been tough to someone else. Like,
Oh,
if someone else were to break up the way my breakups have gone, it might have been considered a tough breakup to them. This is what I'm trying to say, right? Father, stay with me. What I'm trying to say is this. I'm literally the perfect person to write about what I write about because I actually believe these things. And the reason my breakups are not tough are because I've mastered the art of letting go. I've mastered the art of saying, okay, that was not funny. You know what I mean? Like, that was not my person, and life will go on. Like, I'm going to be okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like breakups were probably harder for me when I was in middle school. Like, those little middle school crushes were probably more devastating than the last two adult breakups that I've had, because now I'm like, I've just learned how to be okay with saying
yeah.
this person is not for me, or I deserve this, or this is not what I wanted for me anyway. You know what I mean? And can say that without any animosity towards that person, because it's not about them. It's about me and
Right,
what
and
I
what
do
you
for
want.
myself. Exactly. And that person just not being my person. So I wouldn't say I've had tough breakups. I feel like yeah, the way that I handle my situations and my breakups really do make me the perfect person to write the books that I write.
So how do you, because you write about getting over breakups in your books, I'm sure. So what is it that you say, the master of letting go, the master of letting go? Is that what you said? Something, one of those.
I've mastered the art of letting
You
go.
mastered the art of letting go, which is a gem drop. I hope y'all caught it. Okay. But how do you teach your audience? What advice do you give them on trying to get over a breakup? How do they move
I
forward?
mean, there are a couple things that I can say. First thing is this: the longer you stay at home crying and soaking in the breakup, the longer you just take away from your life, because you can be out there recovering. Recovery starts the moment that you decide you want it to start. Like, a lot of times people say, I want to be over this person, but they're still waiting on the phone for them to call. So your recovery is not going to start because you haven't let go. You haven't decided that you want to let go. You're still waiting on a phone call. So you can't say, I'm over this dude, I want to be over this dude, but like looking at your phone every time a buzz open is their name and their number. You know what I mean? So there's that. I feel like that's the first step, deciding that you actually want to move on. Another thing is just being upset and about something. It's not going to change the person that's out there living their life, right? Depending on what type of breakup that you went to, I always tell people, don't let that person win like that. Like if they really hurt you, like, because a lot of times it's the person that hurt the other person that ends up moving on fast, and the person who got the short end of the stick is taking years to recover. And it's like, don't let that person win like that. They out there living their best life, and you soaking it. Like they bad enough that they wasted 2, 3, 4 years of your life, however long the relationship was. You about to let them waste another 2 years just by you sitting and soaking and crying over something that they're not even worried about no more. Like, so you gonna waste another extra 2 years on top of what they already wasted. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, so I always keep that in mind. Like, yeah, I'm not about to let this person take no more of my time. Like, the time that I spent with them that didn't amount to something is enough.
Right.
I'm starting from today. I gotta do something with myself.
And it's all about perspective, you know. So if you put yourself first and your needs, and you know that you can't sit and wallow and being hurt and sad, it does take time to heal. But
I was gonna say that though. But here's the thing: give yourself time to heal. There's a difference between healing and soaking in your misery. Like, healing is very important. You have to give yourself time to heal, but that only starts when you decide that you want to start healing, not when you're waiting for this person to call you or to this person to reach out. I have a passage in one of my books that says, "Move on, and this time don't wait for them to reach out." Like, let go of that whole idea that they might call you tomorrow. Because all that is that you're still leaving that door open. And as long as you're leaving that door open intentionally,
you can't leave room for nobody new to come in.
Right, you don't want to move on. Like, the door is open. They can walk in and out anytime they call, anytime they text. So I think that's one of the most important things in moving on, is deciding that you want to move on.
That's good, Dozy.
I know. Sometimes I surprise myself.
Like, so, okay. All right. I need to know, because you write about this stuff, right? So this is your expertise in this. Can you take your own advice?
What do you mean? Do I take my own advice? Or have you
taken your own advice? Do you take your own advice?
Yeah, that's why I told you my last 2 breakups weren't as difficult, because I literally took my advice before I even put it to pen and paper. So absolutely, for sure.
So how do you know, from a man's perspective, if a man is doing what he's not really interested? Like, can you give some tips? Like, because men tend to have a stigma that they don't communicate as well, or it's actually true. They don't communicate as well as women. They're quieter. They don't talk as much. And if they have something on their mind, if you ask them what's on their mind, sometimes majority of the time they'll be like, nothing. What are some pointers that you can give, or some tips for single people out there that's dating and holding on maybe to the wrong person? Like,
2 things, right? One thing is consistency, because every time I meet a woman that I want, I'm consistent. Like, I'm texting her, I'm trying to create time to see her, I'm trying to do all of the above, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The second thing is how he prioritizes you. There's another passage in my book I don't know if it's in my book yet. It might be on something I'm working on. I can't remember. I read it so much. It says something to the effect of, stop dealing with men that say stuff like, I don't have time, and start dealing with men who are trying to create time, right? So it's all about how he prioritizes you. A lot of times we are making so much time and effort for people who don't even hold us as high on their priority list as we do them.
As we hold them, yeah.
Right. Like, they're uphill on our priority list. Like, they're number one. As soon as they call, we ready to drop everything we're doing. But we're only a second thought to them. Like, we're something to do when there's nothing to do. So I say, make sure that you're as high up on that person's priority list as they are on yours. Because that's another thing we do. We give people roles in our life that they haven't earned. Again, that goes back to meeting somebody that you like and then forcing something on them. Like, we you met this person like last week or 2 weeks ago, and you like them a lot, and now you've put them so high up on this pedestal, and you expect them to live up to it. Like, no, like they got to show you that. They got to show you that they like you that much for you to put them up there. It's not about how much you like them. It's about how much they like you back. It has to be reciprocated. So I think those are the major two things: consistency and effort, and how we prioritize you. I think that tells you so much about how much a man is really feeling you. Like, you're not gonna have to chase a man that wants you. You just not.
True.
You're not gonna have to try to.
Yes, because men chase after women that they want.
Listen, man, we know what we want. Like, that's a fact. We know exactly what we want. We know exactly who we want. Like, we know.
True. So if he ain't chasing you, ladies.
Now, here's the thing, though. I will say this.
If he don't have no type of consistency now.
There is nothing wrong with, like, because this came up in one of my conversations not too long ago about women initiating things with men, right? So there's a difference between initiating and chasing a man. Like, there's nothing wrong with initiating conversations or, you know, getting yourself noticed if you're feeling someone,
right?
If you're feeling a dude as a woman. But don't be out here trying to court a man. Like, that's not your job as a woman. Like,
it's not.
Nah, that's because to me that's just a foundation for something to fall apart if he's not as into you as you are.
And you're supposed to play the role of his woman, not his mama.
For sure.
Men are turned off by that.
Yeah, for sure.
Not play the role of their mama. No. And it's different if you riding with somebody, right? You riding with them, you know what I mean? But at some point you got to see some effort, because I can't do the people projects. I call them people projects. They're a project. You have to constantly build them up. You're pouring into them over and over and over when you don't even have, you know what I'm saying, nothing left to really give yourself. And then you're depleted at the end, and then you got to move on. And then someone else reaps the benefits of what you put in. Like, ain't nobody got time for that.
So I'm just going to piggyback on what you just said. This might be a little off subject about somebody reaping the benefits of what you put in. I think that's something that we as people, everyone, we have to come to terms with this. Anytime a relationship does not work out with you and someone, or whatever the case may be, someone else is going to reap the benefits of
every time.
Because I'm hoping that every experience makes you a better person. So just like someone else is reaping the benefits of things that you learned from your past relationships, your ex, those experiences hopefully made you a better person. And now the next person you date is going to reap those benefits of the better mirror that you are. And that's going to be the same with the man in your life. So
because we're going to keep progressing, keep growing.
Right. And I feel like that's something else that keeps people holding on way longer than they should. Like, I put all this effort in. I made him a better person. I deserve this better version of him.
Yeah, and it's
you don't deserve that better, because he might not be your person. You might have just been an experience that he needed in his life, and he might have been an experience that you needed in your life. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's about, I think we should stay away from I don't want someone else to reap the benefits of, I upgraded this person, I showed this person this, I put this person on new things. That's life. We're all going to grow, hopefully, from every interaction that we have. We're all going to grow. So, I just wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, and you just kind of want to be in something where it's an equal exchange of energy, an equal exchange of just pouring in and effort, and you know what I mean? Like, if it's more one-sided, it's just kind of like, something's got to give. That's not fulfilling,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to keep up with my questions and the people questions, but if y'all got questions, press the question box and type it in there. So I'm not trying to. So someone said, I guess they were talking about what we were just saying about being consistent, like men being consistent in relationships. They're like, how do you manage asking or communicating that? I guess a woman to a man, like basically saying, can you give me more consistency, or where's your head at? Where do I fit in your life? Where do you fit in mine? I guess that type of vibe.
I'm not sure how you can. Here's the thing. I feel like when you start having to ask for consistency, that kind of waters it down a little bit, right? Because I feel like someone who wants you should just know, okay, I need to put this type of effort and time in. Not saying that you can't teach someone your love language. Like
Right.
you can teach someone how to love you better, or you can at least tell them and see if they're capable of doing that. Um, I think just the way she said, a conversation. I think a lot of times people don't know the difference between a conversation and a confrontation, and there's a
Mm.
huge difference. Like you should be able to converse with your partner or whoever you're
Versus
building something.
confront.
Yeah, a lot of times people say, "Oh, I don't want to bring it up because I don't want him to flip the script. Or I don't want to bring it up." Like you
It's
can't
all
have a
about
conversation
tone.
with your
How are you
partner.
communicating this right now?
How can you not have a conversation with your partner? Like, what type of relationship is that where you're afraid?
Or
Like
maybe
you're
they're not in
afraid.
a relationship yet, but they want more consistency to maybe get to a relationship.
Okay, but
So,
if you're building something with someone that you want to be in a relationship with, you want to set like communication and being able to have a conversation with somebody should be a precedence that you set early on.
right,
Because how do you go into a relationship with someone you already feel like you can't communicate with or have a
right.
conversation
That's
with?
true. That's
That's
true.
what kind of precedent are you setting? So like your relationship is already failing before you got in it. Like why do you even want to be in that relationship?
That's crazy. That's true.
So
True.
yeah, it's like I feel like so many problems and 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 misunderstandings will be avoided and or solved if people just communicated. There will be so much left for the mind to wonder and just create stories and narratives about just from having a conversation. And we grown. Like we're grown, but yet people are so afraid of communication because they feel like every conversation has to be a confrontation. And it doesn't have to be that. Um, so
It
yeah.
doesn't have to be that. It's all about your approach.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
men, I feel like men shut down when women just come at them crazy. Like, you're not going to get what you want out of a man by coming
And
at them crazy.
I also feel like a lot of couples should have conversations about how they want to have conversations.
How they want to communicate, what works
Yeah, they
best for
should have
me, and what
conversations
works
about that.
best
Like,
for you.
exactly, like, babe, when I have issues with what you're doing, how do you think, what do you think would be the best way for me to approach it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, have a conversation about how to have conversations with your partner. Like,
Yep.
do we need to have one day a week where we, just talk about everything that was on our mind that week and, a judgment-free zone? Like, put things in place. Like, have
Yep.
conversations about
From
how to
jump.
better communicate with each other. I think a lot of people don't do that. It's just, they just play the thing as it comes, and then disaster strikes. But
So they're going
what,
off. Okay, I can't keep up.
what happened?
um, but yeah, so what was I going to ask you? Hold on, we have a few questions here. We already answered that. So there's a question about basically a woman making more money than a man.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, would you date or would you be comfortable with being in a relationship with, your woman if she was, a millionaire and kind of surpassed where you are in your career and your life? Is that,
Financially,
huh?
absolutely, absolutely. I would be okay with that.
Some men would be intimidated. So I'm trying to figure out what you.
I feel like, listen. Here's the thing. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, right? I've been in situations earlier in my life where I was intimidated by women that were doing way better than I was, right? But I feel like where I am in life now, if I met a woman that was doing better than where I am, that's fine. Like, because I feel like it comes with a certain level of confidence and maturity where you understand who you are, and it's not necessarily defined by your bank account, right? But here's the thing: a lot of times, women shy away from dating men who make less than them. But then again, that might be a false narrative. I don't know. I feel like women do that
They
because
feel.
because here's the thing. I will say this: we know a lot of male celebrities who have quote unquote put women on that no one knew about, made them rich and famous from affiliation. We don't know too many female celebrities who have done the same for men who were just ordinary people and they started dating a famous rich woman. Like I can only name Keisha Cole, but I can name a lot of men who have done that for women. So I feel like, I mean, yes, it is a double standard. like I said earlier, when men and women have their role in society, and I think that plays into it. When men are supposed to be the providers, and maybe that's why women don't date. I don't like saying date now because we're just talking about career here. There's more to a person than just their career. But I guess that's why women don't necessarily. It doesn't seem like women date men who make less than them or willing to or want to. But I wouldn't mind dating a woman that makes more than me.
So if she just wants to pay for everything and like that wouldn't make you
But there's
feel
a
like.
difference between.
So
See, you
maybe
didn't
y'all
say
talk
that.
before y'all
You
go
didn't
out. Y'all
say
talk
she
about
wants to
who's
pay for
really pulling
everything. You
out the
said,
wallet.
I mean, she can make more than me, and I'm still picking up the bills. Like how much dinner? The price of dinner doesn't change just because she makes more. If I can pay for dinner now, I can still pay for dinner if I'm dating a woman that makes more than me.
Or trips.
Like we might go to more expensive restaurants. I'm sure I could still cover the tab for those. So I don't think that means that she now got to pick up all the bills. You know what I mean? Um, what might change is how we work out the bigger issues, not issues, but the bigger bills like house. You know what I mean? Like paying for the home. It's like she might want a bigger house because she makes a whole lot of money that
Right.
I might not necessarily be able to afford on my own. And I'm sure she will know that and be like, okay, so this is how we're going to do this. And, a lot of times, a woman who makes more than you might inspire you to start making more. Like, find new things. Like, that just might inspire a whole lot of other possibilities. So I don't mind meeting a woman that makes more than me. I don't mind dating a woman that makes more than me.
Let's get into the nitty gritty. What would you define as cheating?
Anything that you want to do if your partner was watching.
Period. Point blank.
I think, yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like inappropriate texting is cheating. Yeah, I feel like just because you're not having sex with someone does not mean you're not cheating on your relationship. Like, because
if you're not going to text that person or talk about that person in front of your partner, then
if I can't read y'all conversation while it's happening, then it's probably one that you shouldn't be having. Or if she can't read my conversations while it's happening, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we opening our DMs in front of each other and laughing about this shit that's in our DMs together. If we can't do that, then you're hiding something. If you're hiding something, then it probably falls under the umbrella of cheating.
And when it comes to cheating, how much do you decide how much you don't have to deal with it at all, actually.
Right.
But when do you feel like, okay,
enough is enough?
Like, do you think after seeing someone text somebody or DM somebody, would you cut it off then, or would you give things a shot? Would you communicate? Like, how would you deal with that?
That depends on the person. Me, I don't think I can ever get back with a woman who has sex with another man while we're together. The other things, I feel like I haven't really made a decision on them yet, so they depend on
the situation.
The situation where I'm at with that person at that time, how important that person is to me. Like, you know what I mean? There's so many things that go into, because you don't know. Like, a lot of times you can say what you will when I put up with until you're in the situation. But one thing I know for sure that I can't do is be with a woman who fucks another man while she's in a relationship with me. I just can't. Can't do it.
But what if you slipped up? What if you had a one night stand or one too many drinks and one situation led to another, and you were in a relationship with someone who you loved and you wasn't ready to let that go? Like, would you expect her to do the same, or would you expect her to stay and make it work?
You know what I would do? I would expect her to act how she feels she could. Because here's the thing, we don't all react to things the same way. So she might be a more lenient person than I am. She doesn't have to be me. Like, right. If she feels in her heart of heart that that's something she can deal with, that's on her. But what will I do?
But would you try to fight though, or would you just be like, you know what? However you feel, I accept.
No.
When you're the one who.
I will sing and rip my wife beater in the rain until she takes me back.
Yo,
But if she
silly ass.
decides not to, then what more can I do? Like, I would understand if she decides not to, because I don't think I would be able to do it. But hell, if I ain't gonna fight, you know.
I feel like you the type to be like, I know I fucked up. This is XYZ what happened, but if you don't, I feel like you'll be like, I understand. Like, if you don't want to, then that's cool. Like, I'm cool. And it's like, I don't feel like you would.
Why you feel like that, Amira?
Like,
Why
your
you feel
energy
like
don't give me that.
Why you feel like that?
Because you just you the poetic style. You know what I'm saying? You can get who you need, who you want.
Listen.
So you feel like, all right, I fucked up. I'm sorry, but there's more out there.
There's more. Wow. Nah.
Like, nah, I'm talking shit, but I mean, it has to be. You know what I mean? Like, you have to. You don't want to hear nothing. You just like, oh, you fucked. Oh, no, I'm good. Next. Or would you
Somebody said I'd be crying rivers. Shit, you're damn right. If it was the love of my life, I'd be crying rivers, crying oceans. What you talking about? Damn right. I'm not.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you froze though. All right, you moving again. You moving.
Okay.
Yeah, if I was about to lose the love of my life, I'd be crying more than rivers. Like what?
I'd be crying more than rivers. Someone said, oh no, he already answered that. Is there anything you want to ask me? I feel like we're getting all the male perspective here.
I mean, I thought you were just gonna be like the person with the questions. I don't necessarily.
I mean, we're having a conversation. This is creative exchange. Right, we're exchanging energy. We're exchanging conversation. I can keep going because you know this. I do this, so I can keep going.
I know. I want to know what you would do. Like if your man slipped up, you feel me? How you handling that? How you reacting?
Am I married or am I single and in a relationship, like boyfriend?
You're in a relationship.
Okay.
And
what would I
hold up? What did he do though? Like,
huh?
You're in a relationship and he cheats, like fuck somebody.
I mean, you asked me the question, so it's really.
All right. So what would you do? You're in a relationship. He has sex with another woman.
Just the thought of that just crushes me already. I ain't even got a man. I'm like, oh my God. What would I do? I mean, obviously that's unacceptable. Like, that's not anything I would want to deal with, you know?
For sure.
That's tough. I feel like if it's in the beginning, then that's something I'll be like, you know what? This is not the path I want to be on, because I feel like if that's something that happens early on, it can definitely happen again. I'm not okay with it. But at the same time, I would want to know, like, you know, did you just get your dick sucked? Was it penetration? Wow. I mean, it doesn't matter, but these are details that can still make or break something too, you know? I mean,
okay. It's
not something that I would be happy with, or something that I think I would stick around for. But at the same time, you know, no, it's situational, I feel.
I definitely feel like cheating has been normalized, or at least they're attempting to normalize it for women. Like, women should. I heard somebody say a lot of women have been taught to accept it. I definitely feel like there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, but if you do stay, I mean, it depends. Like, if it's a marriage, because that's what I'm dating. I'm now dating with purpose, because I want a family. You know, I'm speaking from that place. You know, and if I'm in a relationship with a man, married, you know, it's crazy. It's different when it's marriage. You know, it's like you shouldn't just let it go.
I'm with you.
So that's the thought. That's where I'm at in my mind.
So what kind of men are you looking for, Mira V? Since I'm asking questions.
Wow.
Well, what you mean?
What kind of man am I looking for?
Yeah,
I'm actually not looking for any man.
Okay, what kind of man are you letting are you given the chance to date you? Because you might not be looking, but they might find you, and they might be like, I want to take you out, spit their best bullshit. What kind of men are you letting take you out these days?
First of all, a man who comes correct. It's all about the approach. What kind of man? He got to have on nice shoes.
Wow.
No, but what stimulates me? What stimulates me is the mind.
Okay.
So I'm very into being stimulated by someone's mind. So our conversation, if we have a conversation and then you ask me out, if I feel like, so I got something from that conversation, then yes, I'll give you more of my time. And what am I looking for? That's a loaded question, honestly. But it's loaded. It's loaded because it's levels to this, right? But just someone with integrity, someone who is ambitious and basically has their life going for themselves, or is at least is working toward, who's a hard worker, someone who is adventurous and spontaneous, because I just love to have fun and thinking outside the box, someone who's cultured, someone who has a relationship with God. It doesn't have to be the one that I have, but a relationship with God is a deal breaker for me, because we wouldn't even be able to connect fully if you don't have that. Yeah, sense of style is important. Someone who's cultured, who, because I'm foreign, I'm Haitian, you know what I mean? And I like culture. And it has to be someone who likes that as well, or, loves to travel, things like that. I got to bring this person to my mom, you know what I mean? So just someone who's cultured. You asked me this on live. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, people might want to know,
No, that's true. And I feel like I'm still single now because it's someone always falling short, right? No one's going to be perfect, but the situation, it's just, people don't know how to approach queens nowadays, There's a difference. People think that because you're a beautiful woman that they can talk to you any kind of way, or they cannot be consistent. They can, you may just be on their hit list. Like, you have to really try to get to know people, because now dating is it's just a different ball game. People want to see what your pants, what it's like to share something intimate with you, to have sex. Yeah. And it's not about connecting. It's not about building. It's not about feeding each other mentally, and I'm just on that shit. Like, my man is a king somewhere, okay?
Sure.
In his own right. So I'm doing the work for myself to be able to meet him on that vibration, on that same energy, because I can't with these. I can't. Okay? I cannot.
You cannot.
So I kind of it gets deep, but yeah, pretty much. Like, I'm dating with purpose. Whoever I'm dating I'm thinking, okay, can I see this person? Can I see myself being with this person for a while, for a long time? Yeah. So yes. So that's it. What about you? What do you look for in women? I mean, I feel like you're a picky dater too, just because you do this, right?
I'm a picky dater for sure.
Somebody say you're king right there. I'm weak. Go ahead. Answer that question.
Someone, I don't even know what's on my list. Like, first of all, it's a woman that I'm attracted to, because I'm not gonna act like I'm not a man, and we're physical creatures. One, I'm attracted to a woman who can carry a conversation, who's well spoken. I really appreciate a woman who's well spoken. I appreciate a woman who's ambitious. I also like women who are.
We're probably gonna get cut off, so if we do, just come back on, y'all, because we're not done. Okay?
Y'all,
I just realized it's 2:00.
Be having a time limit on it?
Yeah, so you can only be on for an hour, then they give you a 2-minute warning. We're not there yet, but they probably will give me a warning within like 2 minutes. I'll
All
let
right,
you know. But go ahead.
I'm gonna try to make this fast. So
No, just answer how you gonna
yeah,
answer.
I like a woman who's man, what was I about to say? Well spoken.
Yep,
Oh,
you said
okay, yeah.
ambitious, intellectual.
Ambitious, well spoken. This is one. I like a woman who is kind of old school. Like I like a
Who
woman
has
who
an
like
old soul?
yeah, like I like women who like women things, like girl thing, like women who like flowers being sent to their job, or women who like, you know, a man who's gonna open a door for them. Women who know how to accept those things. Like I feel like we live in a generation where everyone's a thug, everyone's a gangster. Like every woman is just like trapped out. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I like a woman who still can appreciate those old school type of vibes. Like you know, you like intimacy, you like soft shit, you like R&B, you like flowers, you like
A
dates, you
chivalrous
like
man, okay? What happened to the chivalry?
listen, listen, like my man Just Mike said, I gotta quote Just Mike, because we went on tour, we just came off tour, he said one of the realest shit in one of his poems. He said, if chivalry is dead, then it's your fault too. Because a
Because we don't
man
even
that
expect that.
hold on, because a man who doesn't know how to talk to a woman should not have a woman to talk to.
Mm,
And that's a fucking bar.
mm,
So y'all can't go around saying chivalry
mm.
is dead, because it's y'all fault too. A nigga that can't talk to a woman shouldn't have a woman to talk to.
Period. Big dot.
Period. Period. Hey, Just Mike, I just sold you about 10 books just then. I need my cut on that. So
A woman, say that again one more time for people. A man who doesn't know how to talk to
a
a
man
woman
who
should not
doesn't
have a
know,
woman to talk
hold
to.
up, if chivalry is dead, then it's your fault too. Because a man who doesn't know how to talk to a woman should not have a woman to talk to. Just Mike, I need 50% of what you're about to sell in the next 2 hours.
That's a t-shirt.
Facts. So yeah, So yeah, I like women who have that type of old school mentality, old school vibe about them. I think, I also like women who. I don't know how this is gonna sound to some of the people on this live, but I'm saying it anyway. I like women who still like a classic and classy look.
What do you mean?
When it comes to their appearance, I feel like we live in a generation where like the revealing thing is so in, like you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I miss those old school times of like,
sorry.
women who just loved to look sophisticated, you know, and shit like that. Like I
Just
just
a
miss.
classy woman.
Yeah, I like classic vibes, classy and classic vibes.
You like bougie women.
Yes, be fucking bougie. We ain't work this hard to stay the same. Let's elevate. Let's get bougie. Let's do some bougie shit. Let me throw a suit on. You throw a cocktail dress on. Let's go do some bougie shit. Like, I want to do bougie shit.
Listen.
But now they just want to smoke Hennessy. I mean, smoke hookah and drink Hennessy. Like, I want to do bougie shit. I want to do bougie shit. Like,
yo, yes. See that? Yes.
That's the type of women I like, you know. And yeah, such is my life right now. So I'm just, you know, seeing if God gonna throw her my way, you know.
Yo, I'm weak off you right now. Oh my God, I don't want to lose all these questions. Okay, someone says, "Oh, how can you tell if your partner is cheating?" How can you tell if your partner is cheating? Actually, I'll let you answer that.
How can you tell?
Yeah.
Your intuition. There's always something that goes off like in our gut when something changes. It's like you can literally tell when somebody's energy changes. A lot of times we just ignore. We just be like, "Nah, I'm tripping." But a lot of times, like nobody got it. Like you're gonna feel that energy shift. That consistency is gonna slow up. That energy is gonna shift. They're unavailable. I can't explain it. I feel like we've all felt it before. It's like
like when the patterns change.
It's not like if they're doing this, you're cheating. Like you're just gonna know. You can literally feel somebody's energy changing. You can feel that shit. So I think that's the best that I can give.
And how do you address it? Do you just ask them, "Are you cheating?"
A conversation. Like, you don't have to come out and say, hey, how you doing? Are you cheating on me? You don't have to say that. But it's like, listen, I've noticed you've not been doing certain things like you used to. I feel like we've been disconnecting recently. Like, what's going on? Like, you got to give them that opportunity to tell you what the fuck is going on. Like, what's going on? And then you have to decide if they sound believable or not. And then the rest is up to you.
Would you look through your girl's phone, and are you comfortable with her looking through yours?
Let me
before you get into that, hold that thought though, because we got 20 seconds left, and I need to say this. So I'm just gonna hop off, and everybody, please come back on to part 2 because we not done.
All right, good. All right, cool.
All right, bye. Load back up, y'all. Come back on here. Whoo, that conversation. That conversation, y'all. That conversation. We talking about relationships today. Cause we need to know. We need to know what's going on in these parts of the world. All right, y'all. So this is part 2 of my Creators Exchange live conversation with Dozy.
Did you just say conversation?
Conversation.
What was the last question you just asked me? I forgot that quick.
Let's wait for everybody to load up on here first.
Nah, that's cool. I just don't remember the question.
Oh, I asked you about looking through phones.
Oh, that is what you asked me. Okay.
I like how I called this the weekend edition because I haven't done no lives on the weekend.
Oh, you haven't
I think this is a good conversation for the weekend, don't you?
Nah, for sure.
I'm so happy you're sharing your time with me today.
Nah, it's all good. I ain't tripping.
Come on, y'all. Load back up on here. We don't want y'all to miss the goodness he about to give us because I feel like it's going to be good. It better be good.
Do you feel like it's going to be good?
No.
I feel like it's going to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you're a very honest person, so. Part 2. Woo, ciao. So yes, back to my question.
So
looking through phones. Is that something you're okay with? You condone, or you think is okay, or do you feel like no? Why are you looking through my phone? You should trust me.
Okay, hold on. I have two answers to this question, because I think the first question you initially asked me was, would I ever look through a woman's phone, right?
I know, I did actually. Okay, yes.
All right, so I'm going to answer that first, and I'm going to answer do I condone looking through phones.
Okay.
Personally, me, I would never look through a woman's phone. Here's the thing, and I feel like most men don't look through women's phones. Most men. And I feel like that's what makes it so much easier for women to cheat. Not just the fact that men don't look through phones, but the reason we don't look through phones. Most men feel like my girl would never do that to me. Like, we have this mentality of I have her. Like, she's mine. She's not going anywhere. She's not, like, she's loyal. She's like, we just have that much, I don't know what to call it, like pride, that we just feel like
how could she?
Yeah, no nigga can touch my girl. You feel me? You see what I'm saying? So because of that pride and ego we have, we don't even think to look through a woman's phone. Now on the flip side, every girl or a lot of girls are the complete opposite. They're wondering, would my nigga do that? He might. Like, his energy has been different. So they're more inclined to look at a man's phone, and I feel like that's why men get caught a lot more than women, because we just feel like we're so comfortable. Like our ego drives us. Like my girl would never do that. Like you can't touch my girl. Whole time somebody probably can. You know what I mean? So, and I think that pride and that ego with me is the reason I don't feel like I look through. Yeah, it's the naive male ego. Somebody just said that. That's the reason I don't see myself looking through my woman's phone. Like I'm guilty of that naive male ego, as someone just elegantly put.
Now, generally speaking.
Um, Generally speaking, do I believe in going through phones? That's a tough one. I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know if I believe in it or if I'm against it. I don't have enough. I don't have like a solid opinion or stance on that. I feel like I believe in truth, um, and sometimes that's people's only way to get truth is to go through someone's phone. Um, I also think it's a bit hypocritical to tell someone, "Why are you going through my phone? You don't trust me," when you're giving them shit to find in the phone. So that's why it's like I don't have a solid stance, because whereas though I'm in a situation, I might feel like, yo, why would you go through my phone? If I give her something to find, I'm just as wrong as she was for going through my phone. So I don't have a leg to stand on. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I
Yo,
think
it
that's.
trips me out if you go through your person's phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they be so mad at the fact that you went through their phone, but they don't want to address nothing you found.
Nothing you found. Because anything you found is fruit from the poisonous tree. You should have been looking. You ain't have a warrant.
Right.
Why would you looking through my phone?
Um,
Yo, nah, niggas be sick though, like, yo. But a lot of times they're just trying to deflect.
yeah, and if your partner secures you, then you don't. Yeah, that's true. That's true. If you feel secure, like for me personally, I don't. It's just an uncomfortable thing to have a sneak and do like that's too much, right?
Yeah, and then here's
But
the thing.
if patterns do change and if patterns are starting to change, I think a conversation is necessary first before going to look through the phone.
But here's my thing though. Here's a stance that I do have. If I ever get to a point where I feel like I don't trust my lady, I gotta look through her phone and do all of that, then one of two things are gonna happen. We're gonna have one of two things are gonna happen. We're gonna have a conversation that leads to me leaving, or we're gonna have a conversation that leads to me trusting her again. One of my last relationships, we went through each other's phones. Like we just wanted to see. I don't know. We were trying, I guess, experiment. You know what I mean? And what I noticed when she handed me her phone was, I didn't know what the fuck to look for or where the fuck to look. Meanwhile, she knew exactly what to go to in my phone. Niggas don't know where the fuck to look. It's like, I was like, what do I look for and where do I look? Like, do I look in your photos? Do I look in your text messages? You know what she did? She went right to my group text with my homeboys because she figured any juicy shit that I had I would have told them about it. I would have sent photos. It would have been, and I'm like, y'all women are so good at this. We don't even know where the fuck to begin. Like, if you gave me 3 minutes with a girl that I was talking to phone and say find some dirt, my 3 minutes will be up and I'll still be on the home screen because I don't know what to look for. Like, you know what I mean? But y'all so good at this shit. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. But I don't know. I don't think I can just be in a relationship where I just feel like, yo, I got to go through her phone. I feel like she's doing something now. We got to have a conversation that's either going to lead back to me trusting you fully. I don't know if you're going to do that by showing me your phone voluntarily or telling me exactly, addressing what's going on and my legitimate concerns. Or if I have to walk out of that conversation not trusting you, then I have to walk out of that relationship. So I feel like that's who I am.
What are some, while you were talking, so many questions are going through my mind. I can't even keep up. So the one that's currently there is when you're going through the process of learning to trust again, what does that look like? What are some steps that you can take to begin to trust again when it's been violated?
Trust the same person or somebody different?
No, I was thinking the same person, but somebody different is valid too.
I think the processes are different. The processes are different for somebody different versus the same person.
Answer
For
the same
somebody,
person first, please.
okay, for the same person, to be quite frank, I think that is something. I don't think there's like a, what is it, 12-step program or
Yeah, but it's
whatever.
just your thoughts. I mean,
I feel like it depends on what they did and if you even feel like you can forgive them for that. A lot of times we feel like we want to forgive them, but we can't. Like, so we'll try to go on with the relationship, but we still bringing the shit up. We still checking phones. We still doing all this
or
shit that
making
shows.
comments like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you making these little slick comments. Then it's like you are not. It goes back to the same thing I said about like healing. Like you haven't decided that you want to do it, and it shows from these comments and these things that you keep saying that you don't even want to begin the process of trusting again. So again, with that, just like much like healing, it starts with deciding that you want to, and
right.
then giving that person the chance to earn that trust back. Because it's not just, oh, I want to trust you again. Okay, here's my trust.
No, trust is earned. But
Yeah, they
also
have
in
to
the
earn it.
also in the beginning of something, I trust you until you give me a reason not to.
Exactly. Now, when you lose it, I don't trust you until you give me a reason to trust you. But I have to decide to give you the chance to win that trust again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like it just starts with deciding that you want to trust that person or you want to work on that trust and then give them the chance to do
But
so.
someone said you have to prove yourself, and for me, I'm thinking like, what does that look like? Proving yourself, you know?
Proving yourself will start with, okay. So I can let me try to give a specific like example, right? If my girl went through my phone, right, and she found some shit, right, and now I win her trust because it goes from situation to situation, and now I have to try to win her trust back. One of the things that I can do is start being completely transparent, which includes her having a lock to my phone or password to my phone,
Right.
and all of that shit, so that she can see like I'm not even trying to hide anything anymore. Like you have complete transparency because when you didn't have that, I fucked up. So now I have to give you whatever it is that I feel like is going to make you comfortable enough to trust me. And if that involves that type of transparency, having a passcode to my phone, my Instagram, access to my social media and shit like that, then that's what I gotta do. You know what I mean? Because you're at mercy of the person who's trusting
Giving
you
them passwords, yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean? Now, as far as trusting somebody else, I feel like not trusting someone else means that you haven't healed. Like carrying over whatever damage you have from the previous person into the next person means that you haven't healed. Because everyone starts off with an A in class until you fail. Like when you go to college and you start your new classes, everyone has an A the first day of school. It's when
Until
you get your assignments and you start fucking up, that's when your grade starts going down. So somebody can't come into your class with a fucking F because of what the last student did. That's unfair. That just means that you haven't healed.
That's true.
So I think those are two completely different situations, and one speaks to the person that lost your trust, and the other speaks to how much you have healed from it, because you should be carrying that and to making the next person earn something that the last person broke.
Whew, heals. You're healing wounds now. You're giving them people these gems now.
I'm trying.
How do you heal after infidelity if you want to? Oh God.
That's tough.
How do you heal after infidelity if you want to stay with the person?
Generally, the process for healing is the same, deciding that you want to heal.
Yeah, it all goes back to that, right? Because perspective is everything.
It always goes back to deciding that you want to heal first, because you can say that you want to and you haven't decided. You haven't actively like made active, you know, to actually start healing. But
even with carrying baggage, like in a new situation. Whew.
Say that again.
When you have baggage that you're carrying to a new situation,
Yeah.
like, this is the thing. For me, I think people should not just hop from relationship to relationship to relationship, especially, you know, if it's breakups and just, it's like you have to give yourself time. Get to know yourself, what you want, what you like, what you don't. Like, give yourself time to process so that in this new situation, you're not making the same decisions, or you're noticing signs before things can happen to you again. But if you just go from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, you're not
People
giving
do
yourself
that.
time to
People,
process or to even be better in the next one.
no, people tend to do that because they're just trying to fill a void, right? So people who don't know how to be by themselves, who feel like they need to be with someone, those are the people that tend to jump from relationship to relationship, and that's just because they're trying to fill a void. Um, so yeah, definitely should be giving yourself time to heal. Like, you shouldn't be trying to be happy with someone when you're not happy with yourself. Like, oh, I'm looking for somebody to make me happy. Like, I don't think that should be the way you go about it. You should be looking for somebody who keeps your peace, keeps your happiness, not makes you happy or
No,
makes
you
you
have to be
happy, but
happy by yourself.
keeps those things for you or with
Right.
you.
Right.
And I think that's what people be doing. Like, they don't be happy and they just be looking for somebody to put a smile on their face. That's why they jump from relationship to relationship.
What about the infidelity question?
Infidelity question. Now here's the thing. Like I said, it all goes back to deciding that you want to heal. But I understand of infidelity, even though I've never been in that situation, so I'm not gonna pretend that I have, and I have all the particular answers for that particular situation. Um, but you have to decide if you can. There's a lot of times you can't. You like the person and you want to stay with the person for the sake of the family, or for the sake of just staying with the person because you still like the idea of you and that person together. But the truth of the matter is, you can't heal from that, and that's not something you're going to be able to forget or forgive. Like, if you're still trying to figure, like, if you've been trying and trying and you can't figure it
Sorry.
out, then you probably can't, and that's okay. You have to understand, like, maybe this is, I thought I could, but I just can't, and maybe I need to get on. So I think that happens a lot. A lot of times people think that they can forgive, they're not wired to personally. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't think I'll be able to move on from a girl having sex with another man while we're together. I know I'm not going to be able to move on from that. So
Heal from that,
maybe,
even, yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is not something you're able to forget or just like put behind you, and that's okay. You have to know yourself. You have to know what your limit was or what your limit is. Maybe that is it. If you're trying everything that you can and there seems to be no way, like if you're legitimately trying and there seems to be no way that you can do it, then maybe that's, that was your limit.
Yeah. Let's do some Q&A.
Ain't that
What
what we've been
exactly?
doing?
Yeah, but like more of the, okay, like actually pop it on the screen, What exactly should you know about yourself prior to entering a relationship?
You should know what, personally, this is what I feel. I feel like you should know what your toxic traits are. You should know what you need to be working on. One of the worst things that I hate hearing from people is, that's just how I am.
No.
Those
are people who don't want to change or who's not ready for change.
Like, what you mean that's just how you, so it's some fucked up shit about you, like, but you don't want to change it, like, you don't want to work on it, you just want to say, that's just how I am? Like, no, I feel like you should know what your toxic traits are. You should know what you need to work. I'm sorry, somebody said something. You should know what your toxic traits are. You should know what you need to work on, and you should be working on it. Not just chalking it up to, that's just how I am, so, I'm sorry, man. Not just chalking it up to, that's just how I am, and we just supposed to just say, okay, fuck it. Like, nah, so.
Yeah, I believe that.
And you should know yourself.
That's what I was about to say. I believe that you should know yourself.
Know yourself.
You should know who you are, what you want. you know, your weaknesses, your strengths. You shouldn't get to know you before trying to enter a relationship and take on somebody else's insecurities and all of their shit, you know? Because when you're in a relationship, it becomes two. So if you're not already in a place to where you're emotionally stable, where you're super decisive, you know what you want. I mean, I feel like getting into a relationship can easily become more about that person, you know, and then you tend to lose your thoughts, your values, which you once wanted. So just knowing yourself first, I think, is.
By the way, since I'm on here,
Huh?
if you don't have my book, by the way, since I'm on here, I'm about to plug myself. If you don't have my book on my books, the
Yeah,
link
yeah,
is on my
yeah.
bio. Free shipping on all my old book
Where
orders.
can they find you? I mean, your page is there, all your books are there. So where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, just the link on my bio. Just go on my page. The link is on. I feel like we've been saying the link is on my bio for like 10 years now. So yeah, link on my bio. Free shipping on all book orders. $15 off my 5-book bundle.
Yes.
Get to know yourself.
And the books sell out, y'all. So
Start healing. You know. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, next question.
I'm sorry. I'm typing this for the people, but I just put your page again, I guess. Or is there a specific link where they can get the books?
What do you mean? No. Oh, poeticstyle.shopify.com.
Okay.
But yeah, poeticstyle.shopify.com. So, or you can just, like I said, click the link in my bio. We all make it easier for y'all. Do you think caring too much is a toxic trait? That was the next question. I don't think it's a toxic trait. I think that's the wrong word for it. I think in this generation, caring too much can be a disadvantage. Not a toxic trait, though. I think giving too many chances can be a toxic trait. I don't think caring too much can be a toxic trait, personally. I think caring too much is a disadvantage in this generation because we live in a generation where everyone is trying to prove how much they don't give a fuck, how much they got holes, and how so busy they are, and how they don't got time. They don't
the games.
Yeah, like everyone's just trying to prove how super important they are, and how, you know, whatever the case may be, and how they will get to you when they get to you, and whatever the case may be. So that's why I think caring too much can be a disadvantage in dating this generation. But I don't know. I won't say it's a toxic trait. I will say giving too many chances can be a toxic trait though, because nigga cheat on you 10 times and you still talking about he's gonna change. Like, no, it's time to go.
He showed you one time.
It's time to go. You're playing yourself now. Don't ever play yourself. So, yeah.
Don't ever play yourself. How do you assess potential in a man-woman dating?
How do you assess potential? Okay, first things first. I'm going to answer this question two parts. First, before I answer the question straight on, first thing I want to say is you cannot date someone's potential.
That's an idea of who you think they are, people.
You cannot date somebody's potential, period. You got to date who they are in that moment. You have to like who they are. You have to, you have to fall for who they are. Their potential is the icing on the cake, is where they're gonna go, where you see a future with them, and all that extra stuff. But you can't date solely someone's potential. Like, that's where a lot of women fuck up. Like, I'm just dating his potential. Like, no, you can't. You have to.
But I just love him.
But okay, if you love him, not his potential. That's cool. Like, I want you to like this person, not just be trying to date their potential. It's that potential.
But I know he's got it in him to like be this person. Like, his dreams are so valid.
Here's another thing that women need to understand. It doesn't matter how much potential you see in a man if he's not even trying to realize that potential for himself. Like, you can see him being this amazing person in his future. If he doesn't see that for himself or even want to realize that potential, what good does you seeing it and holding on to it do? It does nothing. It serves no one. Like, you're just living in a fairy tale. It serves no one at all. Like, you're playing yourself. So that's the best answer I can give you to that person, to that potential.
How do you assess potential? No need to assess, mama. It's either he got it or he don't.
All right, let's do it. We gotta do a couple more because I do gotta get out of here.
Yeah. We'll do a couple more and then we'll let you go.
Say you're put in a position where your mind and your heart are disagreeing. Which one do you choose? Your heart gonna get you in a lot of shit. I have a poem about the mind versus the heart. The easy thing for me to say is follow your mind and not your heart, but we all know it doesn't work that way. Our heart usually wins that fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we be stupid in love for people because, you know, our heart is just, I guess, the stronger of the two. So yeah, I would say choose your if you can. Like, I don't think this is like when you're. It's one of those things. It's easier said than done. Like the other cliche thing to say is follow your heart, but take your mind with you. Like whatever. But I feel like when you're in this situation, all common sense and reasoning goes out of the window. Like what you should be doing, but can you? Will your heart allow you to do it? And I feel like eventually when we hit our threshold on how much we can take, we start following our mind by default. I just feel like that's just what happens. Naturally, we would want to follow our mind, but I don't think it's that easy.
Because our heart could keep us in places that, you know,
yeah.
not good.
We stay
Your
with a lot
mind
of
would be like,
relationships
girl,
way
get
after
it
we know
together.
it's over.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. We're just going to do two more, and then we'll let you go, because now it's loading up so fast.
Sure, for sure.
Let me pick the best ones. Can you please? Okay, no. But while I'm looking, do you believe that things happen for a reason? Like everything is nothing is a mistake? I mean,
No, I don't subscribe to the notion that everything happens for a reason. However, I do subscribe to the notion that it's up to us to take advantage of any and everything that happens to us and for us and try to understand what we can gain from it.
do you think loyalty is more important than love?
No, I don't. I don't think loyalty is more important than love, but I don't think there is love. Here's my thing. I don't want if we're speaking on relationships, I don't want love if it doesn't come with loyalty. But I don't just want like what does loyalty do for me? Like if I have a partner that doesn't love me,
but their loyalty.
What is their loyalty for? Like that almost sounds like they're just with you out of obligation. Like they don't even love you. They're just there because they feel like they have to be there. They should be. I don't want no one who is there because they feel like they should be there or they have to be there. No, I want somebody who's going to celebrate me, not tolerate me. You know what I mean? So no, I don't want no loyalty without love.
Celebrate you, not tolerate you. Yeah. Come on now.
That was Charlemagne the God. I ain't gonna take credit for that.
But that's the bar still.
That's for sure a bar. But yeah, I want to be where I'm celebrated, not tolerated. So I don't want nobody who's gonna be loyal to me just out of obligation, but they don't love me, they don't want to be around me, they don't enjoy me. Like, nah, I'm good on that. I'll pass. But I definitely don't want the love if it doesn't come with loyalty. Like, because then again, you just set me up for the inevitable tragic ending if you love me but are not loyal to me. Like,
but loyalty kind of means like till the end. But the love still is necessary. It should be hand in hand. I agree.
Loyalty and love should absolutely go ahead. I don't want the love without the loyalty. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I do not want it.
Why do men bring all energy and voice their intentions and then ghost? Child, because they bored.
No. I mean, there are a couple reasons. Reason number one, I'm not going to name all the reasons because I don't know all the reasons, but here are a few reasons. Reason number one, he just wanted to smash. And he was telling
He was on the hit list.
Yeah, he was telling me everything he felt like he wanted to hear, and by the sound of that question, and it might have words. The second reason is he might have wanted all those things, and then somewhere along the line he realized you weren't his person, and he doesn't know how to have a conversation with you, so he ghosted. So that goes back to what I was saying about
What's up with men and not knowing how to communicate? I don't understand.
I think a lot of adults don't, because here's the thing: I date a lot of women who don't know how to communicate either. And when I tell them to work in their communication, it's like, damn, you really be wanting to communicate? Like, yeah.
Because they're so
like,
used to men not wanting to.
Like, what do you mean? Yes, I want to communicate. Like, yes, I don't. But see, we live in a generation where the cool thing to do is to act unbothered. Like being on, oh, I'm unbothered is the cool thing. Communicating is not the cool thing to do. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like the blind is leading the blind. People are trying to look cool for Instagram and for social media. Like, no, I want to communicate. If something is bothering me, I don't want to get on Instagram and act like I'm unbothered. I want to call you and be like, yo, this is on my mind. Let's get to the bottom of this.
So like, we can move forward.
I'm so no getting on Instagram and pretending that I'm unbothered. Like, I don't need them cool points. I'm good. Like, I'd rather salvage our relationship than get cool points.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was the other reason. Like, it goes back to what I was saying about men go through as many women as they have to find a person that they feel like is their person. He might have felt like you were his person, and then somewhere along the lines, he felt like you weren't. So that might be why he told you all those things that he intended for you when he felt like you could be his person, and then
And if he friend zoned you, then
say that again.
If he friend zones you, like basically, he stated his intentions at first and all of that, it was going great. Then it was like, well, actually, I think we're better off as friends because I want you a part of my life for a long time. You know how they feed you that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like, okay, it's just friends. We're just going to be friends. Like, should women accept that, or should they be like, no, because I want you as my man? Or should they be like, all right, I think a friendship may be more beneficial in the end?
Here's what I'm going to say. I don't know. I'm not going to say women should accept it. I'm going to say people should accept whatever it is that they're comfortable with accepting. It's like if I'm super in love with a woman, and she goes, this is not going to work, but we can just be friends. And then when I say, no, I don't want to be just friends with you, like, right? We've all seen those type of movies, like, I don't want to be just friends with you. And the girl goes, well, that's selfish because you can't have me how you want me, you don't want to be friends. I feel like it's just as selfish for someone to ask you to just be their friend as it is for you to say you don't want to be their friend because you love them too much. You know what I mean? Like, we both want what we want.
Yeah.
I'm not getting what I want, and you're calling me selfish, but you want me to give you what you want. You know what I mean? So I feel like people should accept whatever it is that they're able to accept. Like, if you're able to take that person as a friend, then cool. If that's somebody that you feel like, no, I can't have you in my, close vicinity, or because I want so much more from you and with you that this friendship thing is just not going to work, then that's cool too. And you have to look out for yourself, because at the end of the day, that's what all of us are doing. We're looking out for our best interest. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't think someone should force a friendship on you when you want something different. And that's just life. Like, it'd be selfish of them to call you selfish because you're not willing to accept that.
Right.
So, excuse me, keep pushing my bed.
Yo, you killed this conversation, yo.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I'm so happy that you came on and shared your knowledge and opinions and light with us. I don't want to keep you too much longer, so I'll let you go on about your Saturday and your Poppy Chulo shirt over there.
Wow.
But your Miami Vice.
You tried to dress like me, though. Like, let's see
I
your
didn't
whole
try
shirt.
to do anything.
Let's
I guess
see
you
your
were
whole shirt.
alive.
Stand up real quick. Let's see what your shirt is giving. Stand up real quick. Stand up for the people. Stand up for the people, because you talking big shit. Stand up for the people. Wow. And then you put your hand in
and make sure
bun.
y'all screenshot and tag us.
Then you try to put your hair in a bun.
Listen, It
You
wasn't
trying to
nobody
put your
thinking
hair in
about
a
you when
bun?
I was getting dressed today, okay?
You try to put your hair in a bun, Amira B.
You know what? I actually like my buns with
Then
my
you try to
mom.
leave the joints out in the back?
Oh my God.
Yo!
Wow.
Yo,
Okay.
you learn
I'm
from
letting
the
you have
best.
this. I'm letting you
You've been
have
watching
this.
me. You've been
That's
watching
fine.
me.
That's fine.
I understand you've been watching me. You like my
Um,
style. You like my style. It's
I
cool. I
actually
get
just
it.
followed you on Instagram the other day, so I haven't been
Now
watching
you.
anything.
Okay, now
But
stop playing. Stop lying to the people. You've been watching
I'm
me since
capping right
college.
now.
Stop lying to the people. You capping. You've been watching me since University of Maryland, Eastern
Good
Shore. Stop
night,
capping.
Chidozie. Okay. Everyone.
Wow.
Thank y'all for tuning in to the weekend special Creatives Exchange. Thank you for being here. We have to do this again because there's still so much more to talk about, and I feel like they appreciated what we had to share today. So thank you for being with us. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for
Make sure
tuning
y'all
in.
follow him. Y'all buy his books. And y'all follow me and y'all buy whatever I got to sell. Okay?
And make sure y'all follow her. I know a couple of my
Yeah,
followers.
follow me, Amira B. I do my Creative Exchange weekly. So thank y'all for being here, and we'll catch you next time.
Appreciate y'all. One love.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Woo! Thank you, guys. That was fun, right? That was fun. That was fun. I'll save this live, and I'll make sure I do this again. I appreciate y'all for supporting my episodes, and I hope you really enjoyed it. So until next time, bye, everybody. Happy Saturday. Enjoy your weekend, and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Bye.